a fairly recent study just came out a few weeks ago in JAMA, and they were discussing the link between mortality and total steps taken in a day, and some pretty interesting findings. So I'll just kind of dig right in. Generally, the recommendations for the U.S. population has been to try to exercise 150 minutes a week of some type of moderate exercise. And of course, that can include walking. We actually preferred a little bit of resistance training just to help make the bones stronger as well as the muscles, and just to prevent certain types of back pain, hip pain, knee pain, a lot of those things as well. But let's get back to the study and let's kind of discuss what implications that it had. So many of our smartwatches, your Fitbit, a lot of devices maybe on your phone have suggested that you take 10,000 steps, and funny enough, it seems as though that recommendation somewhat came out of thin air. Didn't really have a lot of scientific merit to it, but it's just been one of those things that people latched onto. And so it looks as though that even bringing that number down towards 7,000, and even better than that, there's a sweet spot that this study found that around 4,500 steps a day was actually linked. Okay, let's take a time out right there and let me back up a little bit. So what they found is that there was a correlation between people that moved the least. And in this study, they found 17,000 women who were probably mostly around their 70s and 60s, but more 70s. And what they found is the ones who moved the least, let's say 2,700 steps a day, those were the ones most likely to have died within a 4 to 5 year period that they followed these people. So imagine they take their data and then they follow them for the next 4 to 5 years. And so the ones who moved the least in that time period, those are the ones that had a pretty dramatic case of premature death. And none of those people had any previous health issues. So that's important to note. So what they found is that kind of moving up from 2,700 to 4,500, 4,500 was the sweet spot. That was the spot where they found that there was a 40% drop in likeliness of premature death. That's pretty significant. 4,700, 4,500, 5,000. Like if you think about that, that's not asking a whole lot. And so that's one of the things I want to encourage you to do is you've heard me talk about NEAT, and it's not always about your exercise sessions. Sometimes it's just about being more active throughout the day. But when you go for that walk early in the morning, or you go for that walk later in the evening, because it's summertime, and obviously we're not having a summertime week this week. It's been really beautiful outside. And so I would definitely try to jump outside today if you can, just to take advantage of this conversation. But again, let's really try to make a concerted effort to get those activity levels up. Find you a cheap step counter and just try to be more intentional about increasing your activity level, because we want all of our Madoma members to be around as long as possible and enjoying a very healthy life, a very vibrant life. So anyway, I'll close with this. As Nancy Sinatra once said, those boots were made for walking, and that's just what you should do. So have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Thanks for tuning in.